This hearing of the Subcommittee on Delivering on Government Efficiency will come to order. Welcome, everyone. Without objection, the chair may declare a recess at any time. I recognize myself for the purpose of making an opening statement. Welcome, everyone, to today's DOGE Subcommittee hearing on federal real estate. This is an area where the Trump administration is taking long overdue action. The federal government owns a massive real estate portfolio of more than 250,000 buildings. No one knows how much of this real estate is actually being put to use or what it's worth on the open market. Here's what we do know. Taxpayers spend about $10 billion annually just to operate and maintain all of it. American taxpayers have been drowning in debt, inflation, unaffordable grocery prices, high interest rates, and have been suffering to get by, all while the federal government is pouring billions of dollars into wasteful, empty office buildings and luxurious high-end furniture, which they, the American taxpayers, can't even afford themselves. It's quite a hypocrisy. These buildings sat largely empty during the entire Biden administration, which kept federal office workers at home long after the COVID-19 pandemic ended. By the way, truck drivers, first responders, so many people worked during the pandemic, but federal workers could stay home, and these federal buildings sat empty. Here in D.C., GAO found in 2023 that the vast majority of federal agency headquarters buildings were less than 25% occupied, some much less. Meanwhile, from 2022 to 2024, the backlog of deferred maintenance on the aging buildings the government owns grew from $216 billion to $370 billion. That's more than 1/3 of $1 trillion it will cost to restore them if we don't sell them. What's worse, aside from paying for useless leases and allowing federal buildings to decay, the Biden administration spent billions on high-end furniture for empty buildings during the pandemic. No one was sitting in those chairs or at those desks. Our witness from Open the Books will testify to that. It is only now, under the Trump administration, that we see a light at the end of the tunnel. This administration is taking historic action on reducing the size of the government, and with it, a significant reduction in the useless office space that is claimed to be essential for the government to operate. GSA has established a goal to reduce the size of the federally owned real estate footprint by 50%. This is a massive real estate auction. The president issued an executive order instructing agencies to update their property inventory and to determine which of their government-leased or government-owned spaces they don't need. In just the few months since Inauguration Day, DOGE and the General Services Administration have sold off several federal properties and worked with agencies to eliminate hundreds of unneeded taxpayer-funded office leases. More specifically, they've canceled nearly 700 federal leases of 7.9 million square feet of space, saving taxpayers around $400 million. One of the canceled leases was a nearly $250 million 15-year lease at a luxury office building on Pennsylvania Avenue to house Voice of America and the United States Agency for Global Media. The Biden administration signed the lease late last year, sticking taxpayers with the tab. It's one of the fanciest office buildings in the city. You can see of the building on this poster board. Incredible. Furthermore, this beautiful building had zero broadcasting capabilities, a capability one would think would be essential for a broadcasting media agency. The cost to taxpayers to build out the building with broadcasting capabilities, $130 million. The Biden team wanted to move USAGM and Voice of America from this building that we are sitting in today into that luxury space. Instead, the president is shutting down the whole state-run media operation, and taxpayers will be spared a $250 million lease and millions more for renovations and security measures. This is just one example of countless egregious abuses of leases and contracts being paid out across the federal government. Another egregious abuse of taxpayer dollars regarding federal property was the $200 million the FBI received last year for a new headquarters in Maryland. While the FBI was going after the American people, parents at school board meetings, and many others, our federal government gave them hundreds of millions of dollars of American tax dollars for a brand new, beautiful headquarters. Federal agencies shouldn't be maintaining empires at taxpayer expense. That's why GSA, the federal landlord agency driving this reform process, plans to lead by example. Imagine that. It intends to vacate its current headquarters building in downtown DC and co-locate with another agency. Then it will sell the GSA headquarters. Before I close, I'll note that Congress also acted on this front in January. We passed a law requiring federal building occupancy to be tracked and for low occupancy buildings to be sold. But it will take a willing partner in the White House to implement that law and to take other steps to shrink the federal real estate empire. We now have that partner, and I look forward to working with the Trump administration and DOGE to finally right-size the federal real estate footprint.